Yo, what is up guys? I'm Razan. Today I'm bringing you guys a little Photoshop tutorial. I just got a new desktop for Christmas, but it wasn't really a present. Someone we knew gave my brother a cool gaming computer, so I got his nice Dell computer, so it runs all the Photoshop and After Effects and a bunch of my editing software really good. And I'm really excited to start making Photoshop tutorials and maybe some editing tutorials as well. But today I'm going to be teaching you guys how to make a really cool desktop background, kind of like with scenery, like, you know, a city, and then some cool 3D text to go over it with maybe your name or whatever you want it to say. So let's get into it. So first off, what you're going to need to do, you're going to have to change this to pixels. Change this to 1980 or 1920, my bad, and then 1080. So your width is going to be 1920 and your height is going to be 1080. It's just at 300 resolution for me, whatever you want to do. I'm just going to name this Desktop VG Tutorial. Okay, now you're going to get this. I'm just going to zoom out just to help me a little bit. So what you're going to want to do is you can go on the internet, you can find yourself a cool city background, or I'm just gonna do a city background because those are the easiest to use. So go to your images. I like to find kind of darker ones, you know, like at night, not like black and white, but you're gonna want to find like darker ones. So you find one, let me see here. You have to find a good one that's like your right template size. So maybe this one, but I like more like in the city. Like, let me see here. Maybe this might work. I just wanna, yeah, I think we can use that for that. Let's actually use this once it loads. So you just pick view image. I don't know if it'll load. Let's just use this, so I'll wait for it to alright, so you just copy your image, press Ctrl V to paste, and once you're on this, unless it's not going to work for me right now, copy image, there we go, press Ctrl V, and that'll paste it. So now that you have your picture here, you know, it's a nice, cool, like, night city background. It's really easy to work with. So what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to click on this layer, and you're going to go down here to this little half circle, click on it, and you're going to pop up with all these different like filters and everything. So I like to start off with levels. You just kind of like play around with it to make it whatever you want. This kind of darkens it a little bit if you move it to the right, and kind of brings out the contrast. So you're going to want to just bring that over a little bit, and then you can just kind of play around with it. Some of them you don't want to move, some of them might. This kind of brings out the contrast, you can see a little more. So about that. And I can leave this picture down in the description if you just want to grab it and like do the same thing I'm doing, just so if you want to make one yourself. So now I'm done with levels. I'm gonna go down to curves, and I'm just gonna like pick right in the middle and just kind of like go up or down. You can like obviously play around with it. So I'm gonna go towards the top just a tad bit, bring it down a little bit, and then go towards the bottom, bring out some brightness, maybe just play around, find what looks good. About that kind of looks good, because if you like take it off, you can see. And then actually, I don't know if I kind of like those. To go back, actually, if you hold Control-Alt-Z, if you just press that, it'll go back. So let me do this again. I'm trying to like get those. You see how like now the lights are like not really shining, so I kind of want to keep those shining. I just wanted to get like a little darker, so like that. So now you can see the difference if you pick out of these, or like that. So now that you have that, you can go down. Sorry, I got a bunch of Skype notifications. Go down to exposure. You can bring that up or down, whatever you want. I might leave it just about right, and the offset is gonna do this stuff. So I'm just gonna leave that the same. I'm actually not even gonna do anything with exposure, so I'm just gonna delete this layer. I'm gonna go back in here and I'm gonna pick on photo filter, and you're gonna have like, you can choose your own color, but I'm gonna go up to filter and just play around with which ones I want. So maybe a blue or a violet. You just kind of play around, see, you want to like make sure like these surrounding colors, you want to make it somewhat similar. So like you got these roadways, kind of like a, you know, that color, or you see it kind of like brings out the colors. Maybe pick a warming filter, play around, see which ones. Cooling filter will bring out the blues a little more, and then the warming will bring out the more oranges. So I might do like a deep blue or yellow. I don't know. I think I'm just gonna do deep yellow for right now, just to keep it that color. If not, you have that. Pick back on this. I think there's one more we can do, hue and saturation. You end up like bring it over. You know, you can mess around. I don't think you want to change it too much to get like so much. But you can kind of bring it over towards the color you want. So maybe just a tad bit. You don't want it too much. And then bring over the saturation, maybe just 2 each. And then lower the whiteness just a little bit. So now that you have that, if you take these off, you can see that that's what it began as. And then you added this, and all of these. And then it just made it pop out a little more. So now, to merge all these together, I'm going to click on this layer, hold shift, and click on the top one, and that'll just select all of them, and then press Control E to merge them. And I'm just going to name this background for background, and then I'm going to put a inner shadow. So you're going to have your inner shadow. I'm going to put the opacity all the way up, the distance and choke is all the way at 0, and the size is 250. So that's just going to add like a border thing around it. Now I'm just going to rasterize this layer. Okay, so now that you have this, I'm going to add a little effect. So make sure your color is on white, and I have some brushes. Now you can go to get some brush packs. If you look up some, you can just find a bunch of cool different brush packs. It doesn't really matter which ones, you don't have to be the same ones I'm using. A lot of them, if you do cool stuff with them, you're going to be perfectly fine. So if you go find some brush packs, you'll be all set. So I'm just gonna grab this one. This is kind of like some cool streaks, and put those. I like to use white because then when you pick on this and go to overlay, it kind of gives it like a cool effect over. So that's why I like using overlay on a lot of my brushes. That's usually what I leave it as. And then I'm gonna grab, let me see here, maybe it's like hexagons, whatever, make them. I might leave them a little smaller and just go on the edges. Make sure they're kind of lined up. It'll make it look a lot nicer. So maybe just like on the edges, make it look cool. Do that. Go around. And put that right there. So there you go. Now you have that. Now I'm going to put that on overlay as well. You just kind of get that cool feeling across, cool look. And then the final one, I'm gonna do this little streak thing that like looks like kind of scratches or whatever. You might not be able to see it too much when I put it on overlay, but it always makes a change to something. So you can still kind of see it streaking through. Maybe just add some more. And more, you can see it through the design I put around. But yeah, you can do that. And then I think we're good for that. So I'm just gonna hold shift again to select all of these, and then Control E to merge them. Put that back to background. Okay, so now what we're gonna do is you're gonna grab your rectangle marking tool, and I'm just gonna grab it like that, and don't make it all the way. Try to get the, you know, it even from each side, because it's gonna be in the middle. So maybe like that. You don't want to make it too small. You want to leave like a pretty good, so you can do this and you lock it right in the middle. So it's gonna leave this outline here. And then what you're going to do is you're going to make sure you're clicked on this layer, right click, layer via cut, and that's just going to cut that piece out. So you're going to have that now. You're going to want to put this bottom piece on top. So now that you have that, and I'm going to get my inner shadow or inner glow. I don't know what I want to use. Inner shadow. And you're going to, that size is going to be still up from, or actually, no, you're going to want to drop shadow. There you go. I was like, wait, that doesn't look right. So get your drop shadow. Make sure the distance is on 0, spread is on 0, opacity at 100. Just kind of bring up the size, whatever looks good, and it's just gonna like kind of give it that depth feel. So it kind of gives it a cool feel, and then you can just rasterize this and then merge these together. Okay, so now you have that cool feel. So now we're gonna get into our text. All right, so let me just write out tutorial. Probably I'm just gonna do tutorial. Let me get a different font. We can use maybe Kenyan Coffee. That's a good font to use. Where you at? Right here. That's a really good font to use. Let me put this up to 100. That should. You don't want to make it too big, but it's gonna stand out, so it's gonna look cool. So now you wanna, and to get these little lock things, if you go up to view, it should be like snap, or if it doesn't work, put on lock guides, but usually it works. So now, since you have that, you're gonna pick on, or double click on that, and it's gonna open up this. You're gonna put a cool gradient overlay. I'm just gonna go with a generic one. I don't really know. I might do that color. Color kind of fits in, but I might do like a little purplish color like I did on my desktop background. And if it's just like two sides, you can pick reflected, so the dark will be on the top and the bottom, and the bright will be in the middle. So I think that looks cool. And I'm gonna do an inner glow. So that's really, it's because the choke and the size is all the way up. You want to make this white, and then it's going to put it on overlay. Just bring up the size a little bit, and it's just kind of give it that outer kind of glow, and maybe put it on precise, just to like make it a little better. But you don't want to make it too big, so maybe just something like that. Make it like, yeah, about 8. Put it on like 8 pixels, and I think that'll do good for now. So now what you want to do is just rasterize this, and then you're going to go up, you're going to right click on here and pick new 3D extrusion from selected layer, and that's going to open up it's going to put it into a 3D layer. So now you're going to have 3D. So right away, if you click on tutorial down here, extrusion depth, you can play around with what you want the depth, if it will pop out at you. You don't want to make it too like extrude. You want to at least see space between every letter. So let me go a little bit smaller, so maybe like that, so you can still see it. And then what you want to do is to change the color of the extrusion. Right here it'll say extrusion material, so now you're picked on that. You want to go up to diffuse, and that's going to change your color of it. Okay, so now you can like go to the purple and maybe get like a dark purple. You don't want to make it bright. Bright's gonna like make it look weird, so you just want to get like kind of a darker color, because it's like obviously the 3D, it's gonna have some shadow on it, and then you just click back on it and it will be changed. So now that you have that, you can see how like the edges are all rough and everything. So what you need to do is go back over the layers, right click on this and render 3D layer. So this is gonna take just a few minutes. It won't take too long. It usually should pop up right down here of how long it will take. It'll just like go around. It'll make it look really smooth, but it should pop up here. You see it says 9 minutes remaining. Usually it won't take that long, but you just let it render, and then I'm gonna let it render right now, and I'll be back with you guys once it gets done. Alright guys, I'm back. You can see it's not done yet, but it's starting to look really good. So just for the sake of this tutorial, I'm just gonna stop it right here. So I'm just gonna pick escape, and it'll just gonna cancel it. And then what I'm gonna do really quick is turn off these shadows up here. That's gonna put the shadows like that, put it on the ground. You can leave them if you want, but for right now I'm gonna take them off. So I'm gonna right click, rasterize 3D, and you can see it's kind of good, but there's still those edges. That's because I didn't let it render out all the way, but just for this tutorial, that's why it's like that. But you can let it go just to make it look nice. So now that you have this, I might lower the size a little bit. If you click on this right and then hold shift and then just bring it down, it's gonna hold like the size of it so it doesn't get all distorted. And then what you're gonna want to do is unclick before you let go of shift, or else it's gonna make it messed up. center it again. And what I'm going to do is, let me center it. You can get the rotating tool right here if you just click on the bottom and then just rotate it a little bit just to make it look good. Now, what I'm going to do is put a drop shadow on it. You're not going to want to make it that big. You can just kind of, you see here. You can start off by doing this. Maybe like change the angle of it and then just put the size just so you kind of have like that shadow behind it so you can see it does a lot. So now that you have that, you could put a stroke on it, and once you put the stroke on it, you put it to white and then put it on overlay, and it's just gonna, on some brighter pictures you'll be able to see it better, but for right now, since their edges are still like kind of rugged, since I didn't render it out all the way, I'm just gonna take that off, and it's gonna be like that. And you can let me put this on, so rasterize, and you can mess around with these. There's different things that look cool. Keep going down. It'll kind of like, so you see how like that looks cool. You can just do different cool things, like all these different layers there. When you get towards the bottom, it's not gonna look too good because it's gonna like have different colors. But I think I might leave it like that or something. Let me see here. Maybe like that. Actually looks cool, but you can't really see it that good. So I'm gonna leave it like that. You can still see it pretty good, and it obviously looks really cool because it's gonna have that overlay effect. So now that you have that, you're pretty much done here. There's pretty much nothing else you have to do. You can just merge these together if you want to, and then I'm gonna put tut for tutorial, and that's pretty much how you make your cool desktop background. You can see that my desktop background looks very similar. I did like tilt it a little bit in the 3D while I was making the 3D to make it look kind of cooler, but it's up to you with however you want it to look cool. You see how I made like the outline too. Looks really good. So yeah, thank you guys for watching. Like I said, I'm gonna leave that picture down in the description so you can grab that. Go get your own brush packs. There's so many on YouTube. Same with graphics packs. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'm going to be uploading a lot more Photoshop tutorials since I have my own desktop right in my room now. And please leave a like and comment what other tutorials you want to see. I can do like YouTube banners, Twitter headers, logos, whatever you guys want to see, and I can make a tutorial on that. But thank you guys for watching again, and I will see you guys in the next video. See ya.